Welcome, everybody, to the WSL Post Show to wrap up the opening day of competition for the SHISEIDO Tahiti Pro presented by Outerknown. First day of the waiting period, a lot of big names went down, especially finishing the elimination round for the women, setting up the elimination round for the men that could be out there first thing in the morning. Joe Turpel, Felicity Palmatier, and Pete Mel here to wrap up opening day. Highlights for you, Pete, starting with you.
There was a string of top seeds, including the contenders who are looking for a final spot in the final five. That string that started, I think, with Felipe was getting through his heat, but then you had Jack Robinson, John Florence, and Gabriel Medina all put on stellar performances. The waves kind of turned on for that period of time. That was my favorite part of the day. Well, I've gotten to see these athletes that know this reef really well roam up and down and find those quality waves and make it happen. So we saw some excellent numbers from those guys.
That was a great time of the day. You know, Medina got on the roll with or without priority, couple of big eights. Was that your favorite part of the day as well?
It was up there with my favorite part of the day because the momentum just kept going. But I've got to say that my favorite wave was Vahine's for the women on the women's side. That 7.5, looking really strong, looking really comfortable. And the other highlight of my day is just the beautiful scenic shots that we've seen back here at Teahupo'o. I just love it. It's beautiful. It's magnificent. And I'm grateful to be here.
It's kind of a lot to break down today, but let's just go back to what we just saw. That was such an important heat for Steph Gilmore and for Lakey Peterson. Lakey was in that position last year, took on Braye Hennessy, ended up getting knocked out, lost out on a chance to be in the WSL Final 5, and it just happened again, this time against Steph Gilmore.
Yeah, and it was tough. I mean, there wasn't a lot of waves on the heat. They both got opportunities, though. I feel like Steph had one that was a nice barrel that would have been great for her to get through, but a bit of an error, and unfortunately wasn't able to get it done. And then they just ping-ponged. You know, it ended up having Lakey giving an opportunity that she wasn't able to execute the barrel. So it was a tight heat. I mean, coming down to how low the scores were and to, you know, see one of these champions go home and one succeed. It was a pretty hard-fought battle.
Yeah, it kept it really close because we're here at Tahiti. They're saving big numbers for big barrels. So, you know, if this was a beach break, their scores would have been a lot higher because it's all about overall performance. But it came down to Steph with a 267-193 to keep her dream alive of competing for a 9th world title. She still has work to do as we check out the final series. Steph has Caroline Marks to deal with in the second quarter. Remember, she has to go all the way to win to have a chance, and she can't have Caitlin Simmers be in the semifinals. So she's going to hope that Molly Picklum backs her up for Australia. Picklum is a charger, and she's got Katie in quarter 4.
Yeah, quarterfinal number 4 is the pick for me. Both those women are charging. Molly today spent a lot of time underneath the water, had a couple of heavy wipeouts, and you could just see that she's like a bull at a gate. And if she's given the opportunity, she's going to go. So that's a good thing for Steph.
Really exciting matchup there as well. A rematch from last year. Vahine will be taking on Carissa Morphy.
Yeah, in the quarterfinals. And Vahine has been obviously the standout in our eyes very early. Was able to produce 2 solid numbers in her heat. And up against the world champ, another rematch, you'd say that her odds are pretty darn good. See what the conditions come.
It's really interesting. You're looking at so many stories. You know, Molly was very close to provisionally qualifying for the Olympics if Steph went down, but then she won her heat, so we got to put that story on ice for a little bit. The number 1 seed story with Chris and Tyler both advancing through the elimination round today, so we're going to have to keep you posted on who will be wearing yellow at lower trestles. Tyler lost out early last season, but this is a completely different year for her. As we check out the WSL Final 5 snapshot there, Carissa Moore, Tyler Wright sitting in the top 2 spots. Caroline Marks sitting in that 3rd position. Picklum in 4th. And the story is for Caitlin Simmers and Steph Gilmore. Lakey out of the mix now. Gilmore needs to win, and Katie can't be in the semifinals if Gilmore can compete for a 9th world title. So Simmers is basically in that situation for 1 heat win away from competing for a world title as a rookie this season.
Yeah. Oh, wow. First of all, I mean, there's only one woman that can stop Simmers right now, and that's Gilmore. She had a really, really, really tough journey ahead of her last year, and she managed to make it happen. I'd say it's even tougher this year. But yeah, that story is going to continue in the next day of competition.
So many stories to go with. You know, for Gilmore, this is a new event for her. She's called the GOAT for good reason, but she didn't have Tahiti in her entire career. It's still really new with backhand barrel riding. You look at Caitlin Simmers. She's had reps out here last year in a free surf, but she's always had that ability to be comfortable pulling into barrels. I mean, even through her wipeouts the last few days, Pete.
Yeah,
she's
no
gonna
worries.
be hard to beat.
And bouncing back from the wipeouts, that's the one real trick, right? It's one thing to be able to get the wipeouts. We all get them. We all deal with them. But being able to bounce back and come out there and do it again and, run the risk of having an injury or whatever that comes from those bad wipeouts, filling your head with water, which we've seen. But Molly came back. Katie has come back. And so to me, like you mentioned, that heat number 4, that quarterfinal number 4, that's going to be a barn burner.
I mean, we're so used to watching Steph so confident bulldozing the tour. Like she did last year at the WSL Final 5 scenario, going from the first match to the title. Do you ever feel like she's under pressure at any point of her career? Is that kind of a newer thing for her in the last couple of seasons on tour?
I feel like she's been pushed harder, for sure. This next new generation that's come through, Katie Simmers, Molly Picklum, they are just absolutely charging through. They're really assertive. They're fired up and they want to take that title from the greatest of all time. So, yeah, I really feel like her back has been more up against a wall and she's had to put in a bit more effort.
Very close decision for that heat win. We do have Steph Gilmore standing by now on the boat with Laura Enever.
I don't know how she can still laugh after such stress, but that was a back and forth heat with you and Lakey. Obviously, you both had some opportunities there that you both didn't capitalize on, but not really many waves. So it was just quite scrappy at the end.
Yeah, it was really scrappy, and yeah, obviously a lot on the line for both of us. But I feel like I'm just here to learn as much as I can about this wave. This wave it just scares me. Whether it's 1 foot or 100 foot, I'm just like, oh. I feel so it's so foreign to me. So every surf I'm learning something new, and yeah, that I wasn't expecting to win that heat. I had such low scores, but like you said, it just seemed like it was a little too small. It wasn't really opening up on the reef. So yeah, I was just scrapping around for ones. But yeah, a win's a win, so I'll take it.
Absolutely. Into the quarterfinals now. You'll be up against Caroline Marks in the next heat. So, possibly tomorrow or a few later days. But how has it been back here in Tahiti?
Awesome. Yeah, Caroline's on fire. I think she's going to be a real threat in the finals. She might be one of my picks, actually. But, yeah, I'm just happy to be here. It's beautiful. We've had awesome weather. And, looking forward to just getting some more waves and some more practice out here. That's most importantly. Maybe Laura can teach me a few things. How to go left.
How to sit on a boat and not get sick all day. Back to you guys. Thank you, Stephanie.
Well done. Great job, Laura. You can tell. Best of friends. Laura, obviously a hard-charging athlete on tour for many years. And I'm just loving this version of Steph. She could easily... I think she's calling you right now. But she could easily move on into the sunset with an amazing career and called the GOAT for good reason. But she's challenged by these new venues. Pipe and Tahiti, it's inspiring her to be challenged in these types of waves. And she got through a very high-pressured heat against Lakey, and she's got more to give in the quarterfinals, Pete.
And that was the point I was going to be, being pushed by other athletes and these youngsters, but ultimately it's pushed by the venues in which the tour has put them into, with Pipeline and Teahupo'o bookending. Those are, events that scare everybody, even the men are on tour, and they're all self-admitting it too, and trying to learn this thing. And and I think that's why Steph is involved again, is that she wants to be better, and it's the way to do it is get out there and do it.
Yeah, looking forward to the quarterfinals. Remember, Gilmore needs to win the whole event to have a shot to do what she did last year at the WSL Final 5. Another big moment from today, though, that mid part of the opening round for the men. Heat number 5, we saw the best out here who's been consistent in the last decade, turning in huge wins, 5 finals. Gabriel Medina went to town over Seth Moniz and Bear Mamiya Flick.
Yeah, he did, and really got me excited. It had been a bit sleepy there for a while, but he just managed to find these 2 gems on the reef, and just proving again that he knows every section of this reef. He can do it when it's big, he can do it when it's small, and yeah, just absolutely dominated this heat.
We saw Seth be selective, and he picked up gems, got a 7, but it was all about 8s or lates in this matchup. Medina 8-1-0, 8.0, 16.10 total, flying into the round of 16. Remember, he's coming from deep, trying to sneak into the WSL Final 5, and this was a huge heat on paper. We picked this as one of the heats of the round with the Hawaiian's reputation in hollow wave speed.
Yeah, we sure did, and Medina shut that one really quickly. I mean, again, getting busy early, was able to roam the reef and found waves on the inside ledge, which is something that he has been able to do. Whether it's the outside ledge or the inside ledge, the man knows what a good wave looks like, and he gets himself deep and gets barreled, and obviously by that performance, showcased it.
Showed why it's his favorite event on the calendar. It's been a few years since we've seen Medina here. Let's check out this WSL Final 5 snapshot on screen. Toledo today officially clinched the #1 seed, so he'll be wearing yellow at lower trestles. Then we saw Colapinto moving ahead of Ethan Ewing just by surfing his heat today. And remember, Joao Chianca, he is in the elimination round, and next time we run, he faces Cowley Vost.
Yeah, big one, right? And not an easy draw. We touched on those top seeds having to deal with these wild cards, and there's a few of them in the draw, and that's an example right there that, that matchup right there is a tough one for Joao.
It's scary, when you think about it. The thing is, okay, let's just focus on Joao Chianca for a second. A heat win there, and it's all
done.
over. He can relax, and he knows he's competing for a world title. If he loses to Cowley Vost, it's not over yet. He already has that #4 seed. Everyone behind him, can potentially overtake him, but it's not over. We'll keep you posted on those scenarios. Obviously, we'll look at Medina. We'll be looking at John Florence, but that'll be probably the most pressure-filled heat of Chianca's season in 2023.
Oh, for sure. And to come up against Cowley, I mean, wildcards in any location are hard, but especially here. They're specialist. Cowley is a specialist at Teahupo'o, and it's going to be an absolute showdown. And I bet you Joao knows that, so he's going to have to bring his A game.
Such an important day in pro surfing as well, talking about Olympic qualification and a big day for Hawaii's own John Florence, Pete.
Yeah, he found his way in there, didn't he? He provisionally qualified today by getting his heat win, and he had a performance, too, to back it up.
He was so stoked. I mean, he was in the event in Tokyo, but he was injured. You could tell he was not at 100% by any means. He did everything he could to recover. Let's hope that John's at 100%. The USA team, they should be proud.
Yeah,
Griff
yeah.
and John, that's a good shot at gold.
That sure is. It's incredible, actually. And, you'd have to say that John pretty happy about that, especially since we're coming to this place.
Yeah,
sure.
You think about this as a, kind of a warm-up to what to expect for next season. For John, he hasn't been here in a while, but he looked so comfortable today, didn't he, Flick?
Oh, he looked so incredibly comfortable. We saw a lot of flashbacks over the years as well, and he is at home in Waves of Consequence, and knowing that he has provisionally qualified for the next Olympics, wow, I'm so excited to watch that.
Great news for qualification season. When we flip it to the women's side, Carissa Moore won a gold medal, the first edition for surfing in the Olympics, and she'll be able to try to back it up officially, provisionally qualifying for the Olympics today. And also Tyler Wright. This will be her first start in the Olympic Games.
And again, it was a great interview, right, with Tyler Wright, able to inform us that she's frightened of this place, but now is going to get an opportunity not only in this event too, but also get to do it for Olympic gold. How good is that?
Yeah, I think it's awesome, and I think what's awesome about Tyler is she has the ability to be so vulnerable with everyone and just really give you an insight into what she's really thinking, because some athletes don't quite give you that, but Tyler's she's putting all the cards on the table pretty much, and it's a really admirable thing and gives you a real insight into
Tyler charges, too.
Yeah,
I mean, she's had repeat success at Pipeline with the jersey on, especially when we had that event that moved from Maui last minute to Pipeline where no one was prepared for that. And she did so well. And how about the wave she had years before at Cloudbreak? No hands over the foam ball.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was still one of my favorite barrel rides I've seen. And that was in a free surf. So she's got the humility. She's got a lot to learn, but I think she'll be a contender for medals next season.
I would agree. Just too much experience. And again, you mentioned the bravery. She definitely has it in hollow waves and has the capability of taking a win.
Time for the Surfline Forecast update running on opening day. Pete, you think we're running tomorrow?
Well, fingers crossed that we get, the energy wasn't up and going, definitely in those last couple of heats. It was kind of slow. We saw that kind of westerly direction swell that we were hoping that was going to give us energy all throughout the day, but it was kind of small. Well, it was. The energy waned a bit through the day. We saw that kind of shorter interval stuff back off, but we got this stuff right here, that little purple blob. You see where Tahiti is. It's going to be a very southerly angle, but that's the bonus that we have as we look out to the next 4 days. 5 to 8 foot faces on Tuesday, so even a little bump up from this morning.
Yeah, a couple of smaller days possibly, but I'm liking what I'm seeing. I checked the Surfline Forecast myself earlier. Tuesday, Wednesday next week are looking pretty good. Waves are picking up. Winds look good.
And the thing is, a lot of times, when the waves look like they might be small, sometimes we'll get the day off ahead of time. We're not doing that. We're actually making a call tomorrow, so there is a chance we could be running more heats. We'll just wake up and check it. A little bit old school. You talked about different directions, though, Pete. What's the difference between, like a straight south out here at Teahupo'o or something with a lot more west?
I like the west, not too much. Obviously when it gets too west, it gets very, very hard on the takeoffs. When it gets that north southerly angle, it's going to move up the point a bit. It's going to be a little bit more open face, and you kind of see those ones that kind of draw down into the channel. That's where you're going to see. So you're setting up the barrel rather than dropping into the barrel. That southwest direction is the optimum direction here, where you get the drop on the takeoff straight into the barrel, and it runs the whole reef. It doesn't look like we'll see a lot of that southwest direction. That's unfortunate, and we'll see what happens with that swell that we had touched on that kind of cut off low, that kind of moved up. That one, again, another southerly angle. But if we get enough west element in there, the quality could be there for Tuesday, Wednesday. Fingers crossed.
That brings us to our top 5. Thanks for the insight, by the way. Coming into number 5 on the list, big opening day of competition here, and just celebrating some great moments for some great athletes that'll provisionally qualifying for Paris 2024. Carissa Moore, John Florence, and Tyler Wright. A lot to celebrate today, Flick.
Oh, so much to celebrate. It was pretty much almost there for Moore and Florence. They just really had to surf their heats, but still super exciting moments for them. Carissa especially getting a chance to go back and defend that gold medal, and a chance to see Florence in the Olympics surfing here at Teahupo'o. It's going to be pretty amazing. And today was just got a little bit of a preview of what we might see in the future. Just John looking so comfortable and so calm. I just love the casualness to his approach out here.
And there's a little intensity to it as well. It meant something here, and I like seeing that. After the loss at J-Bay, I would say that there's a little demoralization happening there. But no, he came here, he's fired up, and he wants to win. He obviously wanted this as a big moment, but now could maybe solidify a spot in that final 5. That chance is still open.
Number 4 on the top 5, Katie Simmer strengthens her final 5 position, Pete.
Yeah, she did, and this was a big win for her. It wasn't easy. This morning she had to deal with, a bit more size on the reef and some wipeouts, but she did it. She got it done, and it was easy to not have to deal with that elimination round and the stress that comes with it.
Her post-heat interview was really fun.
Yeah, it was. It was really fun. She was kind of admitted, just have to be one of those people going to the turns. She was really honest with herself. She knew about that, but I think she's going to be the same as Molly. She's going to be ready and hungry if the opportunity comes.
Taking number 3 on the top 5. Good moment for the defending world champ, back in yellow officially for the Rip Curl WSL Finals, Pete.
And he did it in fine form. He found some barrels. He was able to do some turns. This was right before the momentum shift of the actual conditions in the waves. You saw there was some opportunity here. He surfed a very smart heat. He picked his opportunities and then found this one, and that was with priority. He was able to line this one up. Quick in and out barrel. It was the best number of the heat. Went to turns for the backup, got it done. So very smart and great approach by that man right there to secure that number 1 seed.
Toledo 6'5", 4'5" over Jolie and O'Brien in that heat. Taking the number 2 spot, the local wild card, Vahine Fierro, the 7'5" that you love, Flick.
Yeah, I love this wave so much. Just dominance by Vahine. You can see she just has such a great connection with this wave. She's really been putting the time in here over the years and defeating 2 world champions, taking down Stephanie Gilmore, current world champ, and Tyler Wright. But yeah, Vahine looking so calm and confident, and man, I don't think her dominance is over. She's got a big matchup coming up against Carissa Moore. It's a rematch, but I like her chances.
And congratulations to this man for winning the post show, Leonardo Fioravanti.
No Fioravanti, I like it. Good job there, Joe. And you know what? And he did this in 2 minutes. He was able to produce these numbers. It didn't take long to dominate this heat. It really happened very, very quickly. It was about 5 minutes in, he found the first one of these, and then again, just such a good technique with his backhand barrel riding skills and good wave knowledge. And I think that extra week here probably paid off for him.
He loves big waves, loves charging. He threw down an edit last year that was one of my favorite watches. It shows how comfortable that Leo is in big waves over shallow reef. It definitely feels like his name should be mentioned more as one of the hardest charging athletes on tour.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. I watched that edit too, and I was surprised. Not that I didn't not associate that with Leo, but now I do.
And also barrel riding and technique. That's going to be fun to watch. Leo getting the jump straight into the round of 16. Remember, we are making a call tomorrow morning at 7:15 local time for potentially the men's elimination round or the women's quarterfinals. Take care, you guys. We'll see you bright and early. We are back in paradise.
The wind's blowing, it's offshore, but there's a lot of lump in the lineup.
Paranoid, I like a joint. I like to feel the fear when I'm with the boys. No fear.
Beautiful tube that gets eaten alive by the tube monster.
Still looking hella sneezy. Take off your ugly shades. When you look my way. Throw me a titty, I'm bugging out. I've lost my studies, the music is so loud. Clammy head, heart attack. I need some air, hey, what you looking at? B-A-R-A-N-O-I-D, I'm losing it, spinning out, somebody help me. B-A-R-A-N-O-I-D, I'm paranoid, get me out of my body. Take off your ugly shades. Hey, when you look my way. Throw me a titty, I'm bugging out. I've lost my studies, the music is so loud. Clammy head, heart attack. I need some air, hey, what you looking at?
Nice hollow section.
Wow.
Seth Moniz really got to enjoy that one. Hammering the inside section. Medina, he's got the exit. Florence is gonna punch through again.
Robinson in the barrel, threads it through there.
That's what the best barrel riders can do.
Fioravanti deep on this one. Ooh, he wants to shut this heat out.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.